The new CEO of a company is determined to rid the company of slackers. During a tour of the facilities, he notices a guy leaning against a wall doing nothing. The CEO approaches the guy and asks him, "What do you think you're doing?" The man replies, "Nothing, just killing time, waiting to get paid." The CEO is furious. "How much do you earn?" The man shrugs his shoulders. About $200 a week, I guess? The CEO pulls out his wallet, hands the man $400 and says, "There's your 2 weeks. Now get out of here." After the man leaves, the CEO turns to his employees and asks, "Does anyone want to tell me what that slacker did here?" One of the employees replies,
"Oh, he was just delivering our pizza."
A woman, in her 80s, made the evening news because she was getting married for the 4th time. The following day, she was being interviewed by a local TV station. The commentator asked her what it felt like to be married again at that age, and would she share part of her previous experiences. It seemed quite unique that her new husband was a funeral director. After a short time to think, a smile came to her face. She proudly explained that she had first married a banker when she was in her 20s. In her 40s, she married a circus ringmaster. In her 60s, she married a pastor. And now, in her 80s, a funeral director. The amazed commentator asked her why she had married men with such diverse careers. With a smile on her face, she explained,
"I married 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go."
A magician was working on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. The audience would be different each week, so the magician allowed himself to do the same tricks over and over again. There was only one problem. The captain's parrot saw the shows each week and began to understand how the magician did every trick. Once he understood, he started shouting in the middle of the show.
"Look, it's not the same hat. Look, he's hiding the flowers under the table. Hey, why are all the cards the ace of spades?"
The magician was furious, but couldn't do anything about it. It was, after all, the captain's parrot. One day the ship had an accident and sank. The magician found himself floating on a piece of wood in the middle of the ocean, with the parrot, of course. They stared at each other with hate, but did not utter a word. This continued day after day. Finally, the parrot had enough and said,
"Okay, I give up. Where's the boat?"
A very successful businessman has a meeting with his new son-in-law.
"I love my daughter, and now I welcome you into the family,"
says the man.
"To show you how much we care for you, I'm making you a 50-50 partner in my business. All you have to do is go to the factory every day and learn the operations."
The son-in-law interrupts.
"I hate factories. I can't stand the noise."
"I see,"
replies the father-in-law.
"Well, then you'll work in the office and take charge of some of the operations."
"I hate office work,"
says the son-in-law.
"I can't stand being stuck behind a desk all day."
"Wait a minute,"
says the father-in-law.
"I just made you half owner of a money-making organization, but you don't like factories and won't work in an office? What am I going to do with you?"
"Easy,"
says the young man.
"Buy me out."
During a recent physical examination, Dave's doctor asked him about his physical activity level. He described a typical day. "Well, yesterday afternoon I took a 5-hour walk through some pretty rough terrain. I waded along the edge of a lake and pushed my way through the brush. I got sand in my shoes and my eyes, and I narrowly avoided standing on a snake. I climbed several rocky hills. I had to stop several times to relieve myself behind some big trees. The mental stress of it all left me shattered. At the end, I drank 8 beers." Inspired by the story, the doctor said, "You must be one heck of an outdoorsman." "Nope," Dave replied. "I'm just a really bad golfer." A man is sitting on the bus, reading a book, when somebody taps him on the shoulder. He turns around and sees an old lady. She says to him,
Sonny, would you like some nuts? I've got a couple hazelnuts and almonds if you'd like them.
Sure, the man replies. She gives the man a handful of nuts and returns to sit with her friends. What a nice lady, the man thinks to himself while happily munching on the nuts. A few minutes later, he feels another tap on his shoulder. There she is again, offering him some nuts. The man gladly accepts them, and she goes back to her seat. After about 10 minutes, the old woman taps the man on the shoulder again, offering him more nuts. He asks her, "Why don't you eat them yourself?"
Because we've got no teeth,
she replies. "Then why do you buy them?" asks the man.
Oh,
Replies the old woman.
we just like to suck the chocolate off of them.
A big city lawyer was representing the railroad in a lawsuit filed by an old rancher. The rancher's prize bull was missing from the section through which the railroad passed. The rancher was only asking to be paid the fair value of the bull. The case was scheduled to be tried before the Justice of the Peace at the courthouse located in the town square. The railroad's attorney immediately cornered the rancher and tried to get him to settle out of court. He did his best selling job, and finally the rancher agreed to take half of what he was originally asking. After the rancher had signed the release and accepted the check, the young lawyer couldn't resist gloating a little over his success. He tells the rancher, "You are really a country hick, old man. I sure put one over on you in there. You see, I couldn't have won the case. The engineer was asleep and the fireman was in the caboose when the train went through your ranch that morning. I didn't have one witness to put on the stand. I bluffed you." The old rancher replied,
Well, I'll tell you, young feller, I was a little worried about winning that case myself. 'Cause that darned bull came home this morning.
Betty's washing machine broke down, so she called a repairman. She told him,
I'll leave the key under the mat. Fix the dishwasher, leave the bill on the counter, and I'll send you a check. Oh, by the way, don't worry about my bulldog Spike. He won't bother you. But whatever you do, do not, under any circumstances, talk to my parrot. I mean it. Don't talk to my parrot.
When the repairman arrives at Betty's house the following day, he discovers the biggest, meanest looking bulldog he's ever seen. But, just as Betty had said, the dog just lies there on the carpet watching him go about his work. The parrot, however, drives him nuts the whole time with his incessant yelling, cursing, and name-calling. Finally, the repairman can't contain himself any longer and yells, "Shut up, you stupid ugly bird!" To which the parrot replies,
What? Get him, Spike!